run the pair down. And just when we thought it was all over...
It's the classic shot, isn't it? She's not dead yet. How could you top that?
Kevin chose Christmas Day 2009 to tell Sally that he was leaving her, but Sally had a bigger revelation of her own.
I was absolutely thrilled when I was told that Sally Webster would get breast cancer.
Sit down.
I'm coming. And I couldn't wait for those scripts to come through. I thought it was the best story that Sally had ever been given.
That is nice.
Seems like we'll never get a chance to stop and chat anymore.
I have a friend who had breast cancer and I really wanted to play it for real. I wanted to do it the best I'd ever done anything. And I knew Coronation Street were going to deal with this in a really, really sensitive way. So I was so excited about it.
Sal? There's something... Sal?
I'm sorry. I can't say it.
Sally, please. What is it?
I've got cancer.
What?
And this is going to sound ridiculous, but I really felt I'd let the viewers down because I couldn't continue the story because I found out I had breast cancer myself. I had to leave to go through my own treatment.
I didn't want to tell you till after Christmas.
It got cut short, and quite rightly so, you know, because she needed to get better. Sally was quite brave in the event that she carried on and did as much as she did to get the message across as well.
I found a lump and I had it tested. And I've got breast cancer.
How bizarre, you know, life imitating art to the extreme that it did. I'm so glad I had that story. I would have never have gone for the check. I'm very grateful to Coronation Street. It did, and it sounds very dramatic to say, but it did save my life.
In 1977, Hilda and Stan Ogden went off on a luxury second honeymoon. It's next in our countdown, complete with one of Coronation Street's most memorable lines.
I think Hilda won it in a competition, a night away in a posh hotel. Everything paid for.
It's very nice, don't you think so, Stanley?
Right, all right.
It was fun to do that because it was one of the few times the Ogdens were out of their tatty little house.
I still can't hardly believe it. Fabulous hotel, champagne, dinner for two. Ooh, it's like a dream come true.
It's beautiful and wonderful, and of course has what is probably the best line ever spoken in any soap opera ever.
Come on, you daft ape. Tis the second honeymoon, you know, not the first. Although, as I remember, you wasn't all that backward at coming forward then.
What's that lipstick taste of?
Woman, Stanley. Woman.
Woman, Stanley. Woman.
From a second honeymoon to a second wedding next, when Steve MacDonald makes an honest woman of Becky Granger. Well, he tried his best anyway.
They decided to get married.
Becky just treated it as one big fat party, really.
And got so drunk she couldn't even make it up the aisle.
So Steve goes, right, look, we'll get married again and we'll do it, you know, a lot better this time.
If this is a dream, don't wake me up.
It just coincided with the Soap Awards, and Jordan and Peter presented Best Couple, and it was the last time we saw them together. And she walked out with what must have been 8 hair pieces on, and our makeup designer was there as well. I was like, Liz, can I have the hair for the wedding? And she was like, oh, all right then, love. So she went to Barnsley Market and did buy 6 hair pieces.
Well, come on then, let's get on with it, because I have got to kiss this woman.
I love him when he's gagging for it.
It turned into a little bit of Carry On Coronation Street with that wedding.
I, Rebecca Granger, do take thee, Stephen James MacDonald, to be my lawful wedded husband.
By the power vested in me, I now pronounce you man and wife.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
And is it legal?
You may kiss the bride.
Thank you.
Woo!
Obviously, something's got to happen on the wedding days and something's got to go wrong.
As boss of this wedding, I officially declare the buffet and the bar open!
After the happy couple tied the knot, there was a shocking story at the reception when some drugs were planted in Becky's handbag.
It never goes right for Becky. It's her own fault, though. She's a scally. What can you do?
Hello, you lot the strippers? Yeah, well, you're a bit late because this is the reception bit now.
Steve, it's the drug squad. They've got a warrant to search the pub.
Poor old Bex, eh? What can you do? You can run, but you can't hide from your past.
2001 was a sad year on the cobbles as we said goodbye to Alma Halliwell, who lost her battle with cancer.
How did it go?
They've always got to get rid of you somehow. And when they came up with a story about Alma having cancer,
I'm the consultant gynecologist.
I got very emotionally involved in doing that.
So I have got a tumour. Yes, you do. Your condition is incurable, I'm sorry.
Oh, my God.
Her death was sad. I don't like looking at that clip particularly.
I'm here now. Gail's with me. Everything's going to be all right now, lovey, because I'm going to look after you. I'm here now, and I'm not going anywhere.
I thought I mustn't breathe, and I was talking to myself and going, I must breathe less and less, just like it's all slipping away.
I'm sorry. She's gone.
And I suddenly thought, wait a minute, Amanda, you're only acting, don't go.
Alma might have gone, but she had one last message for her friends.
I hope this is recording, because I'm not very good with gadgets. Really, it was like saying goodbye to everybody. I've accepted that I'm going to die, and in some funny way, I've come to terms with it. I wanted to say goodbye to you all properly. It really upset me doing that. I've had a wonderful life, and a lot of that's been down to you lot, so thank you. Just remember me, eh?
Still to come, an unusual love affair.
What happened was just a bit of Corrie magic.
And the heat's turned up at Underworld.
I'm feeling really hot now, and I'm feeling my face start to really burn.
Coronation Street, sponsored by Harvey's The Furniture Store, bringing your home to life.
We're celebrating Corrie's 50th anniversary with a countdown of its 50 greatest moments. Seen your favourite yet? And next, it's the story of a couple who, against all odds, found true happiness. Not unlucky for them, at 13, it's Roy and Hayley.
Roy had this solitary life, which evolved really nicely.
See your red salmon over there? Says on the label, it's wild, doesn't it? Well, bound to be. Big fish like that squashed into a little tin.
I think the storyline is thought it'd be hysterical to bring in a love interest for Roy, who was a real oddball.
Well, you know everybody, don't you? This is Hayley.
Oh, nice to meet you, Roy.
And you.
I think that Hayley was brought in, I have to admit, as a little bit of a joke.
On a Friday afternoon in the storyline office,
Do you mind if I use your phone to dial a taxi?
somebody said, I know what would make him run if she was a he.
A pre-op transgendered person.
Would you mind asking for 2 taxis?
Well, we could share the one. I mean, it's up to you.
Oh, yes, we could do that. But I think I was only ever going to be in for a few weeks, and it was just going to play out. Roy was going to find out my situation and then be like, oh, no, we can't be together.
Ellie, I really feel we're getting to know each other tonight, don't you?
I do, Roy. Lucky for me, what happened was just a bit of Corrie magic.
I'm a transsexual.
Despite Hayley's past and despite Roy's eccentricities, they're made for each other. It's years since I've been here.
Thought you'd like it.
The scene of Roy and Hayley's first kiss is probably my favourite scene of all time.
This is lovely, Roy.
What I'd like is if eventually you and me could possibly think of having a relationship.
I'd like that.
Would you really?
Yeah, more than anything.
That was the moment when they really cemented the relationship. So here we are, 12 years on, still very much in love.
It seemed the whole nation tuned in to say farewell to Hilda Ogden on Christmas Day 1987, giving Coronation Street its highest viewing figures ever. After the death of hubby Stan, it was only a matter of time before Hilda said goodbye.
The last year I was in it, I had virtually nothing to do at all. I'd have the odd few lines in the Rovers and a couple of lines somewhere else in the shop or something. And I thought, no, it's time Hilda went.
We're going to miss you, Hilda. Oh, the place won't be the same without you.
So it was quite nice the way they wrote her out, actually.
It's been a pleasure knowing you. And from all of us, good luck and God bless.
It's my favourite scene of any television episode in any television series ever. She finally gets to sing legitimately with an audience.
I think they absolutely judged that departure of Hilda beautifully, because it felt like losing an old friend, and of course that's exactly what it was like.
At 11, how Coronation Street hit the front page for the first time with a story that captured the public's imagination.
Ken and Deirdre had kind of got into a bit of a rut.
She went out with Mike Baldwin.
Ken was stagnating a bit. I think Mike represented at that time excitement. And suddenly, Ken finds out, and this is what everyone's been waiting for.
What you were planning was a dirty weekend with Baldwin!
I didn't plan it.
William Roach was passionate that Ken wouldn't take this outrage lightly.
Baldwin of all people!
Imagine having an argument with your wife in your own hallway. There's a knock at the door.
Ignore it.
The door opens, and there's the guy she's having the affair with. And he says, you all right, Deirdre? Nothing bothering you, you know, got any problems? You come to me. A page of this while Ken stood there. And I was absolutely incensed. I said to the director, I said, I'm sorry, I just can't do that.
Why did you put the phone down on me?
It's Ken. He knows. I told him everything.
Get out of this house. Shut up! I'm warning you. Get out of this house.
That's you go. Go.
And suddenly Bill had me by the throat and just to sort of jam me up against the wall. And I thought he'd gone mad because we hadn't rehearsed it like that. I was really upset, and I finally managed to get away from him. And I ran into the front room and sat at the table, and I was just sitting there trying to kind of get my breath back and recover. And I suddenly realised there was a camera, and it was on me to get my reaction to what had really happened.
Anne's brilliant. Although she was crying and was upset, she never lost her words. We carried on. It became an iconic scene.
We're into the top 10 now with a comedy classic, and Reg Holdsworth ending up in hot water.
It's a waterbed.
What? A waterbed?
Everybody thought about getting one of these waterbeds, you know, and as a luxury item.
I think it was his image of himself as a man who should have been in the Playboy Mansion.
Where's my drill?
But Derek's dodgy DIY skills were about to dampen Reggie's ardour.
Oh, no, there's water coming through.
Oh, it's getting worse. The director said to us it's got to be one take, so I'm afraid you're not going to be able to wear any clothes because supposedly you're in bed. So I said, well, I'll keep my knickers on. And Reg said, I won't.
Ooh, it's cold in here.
Both on and off camera, there were a lot of tricks being played.
Just as a jape, I inserted a quarter pound of gorgonzola cheese into the bed just to liven things up somewhat, you know. Oh, Maury.
Mr. Holdsworth!
Who is it? What do you want? Are you up there? What is it? There's something wrong with the bed!
As the water seeps through the bed and down the bed, I'm screaming and screaming and screaming.
The floor is all wet!
He jumps out of the bed and goes into the hallway.
What the hell are you playing at?
He runs back in.